Does advertising need rules to be creative? I think there's a difference actually between rules and formulas. So advertising absolutely needs rules. It needs regulation, it needs to be honest, it needs to make sure that no one's hurt, no one's upset. That's really, really important. However, formulas, tried and tested ways of doing things, the same formats, frameworks, pillars, all that kind of stuff, I think there's too much of in advertising nowadays, and I think that is stifling creativity.
I think when you look at the industry, rules are brilliant because they're kind of there for us to break, and I think as an industry, the challenge is how we kind of push the boundaries and push into new territories and new work, and if we don't have the rules of where to kind of play, then it's hard for us to kind of push on beyond those.
I think advertising has got too many rules already, and I think we need to start breaking some of those rules down and let advertising creatives really off the leash so they can be who they really are, which is creative people.
Does advertising need rules to be creative? I would say no. I think that you perhaps need rules in terms of the brief, and it's really important to have a clearly defined brief before you can come up with the creative. But the creative itself is also amazing when you can think outside of that box. Do something brave, do something different, keep it simple, keep it real.
Does advertising need rules to be creative? I think it's an absolute yes. The way I was taught it was that there are lines on a tennis court and you can just play tennis and hit that ball at somebody and it's dull. Or you can smash that ball over the court and there's no point. The art of tennis is to hit that ball so it's just outside the line but everybody thinks it might be in. And that's what rules do. Rules give you permission to break those rules and just about get away with it.
The campaign that comes to mind that's broken the rules recently, I think, would be the Nike Just Do It campaign with Colin Kaepernick in the US. I think it was obviously such a big cultural discussion point that for the brand to have the confidence to go big and bold with their messaging around it, and the debate that fueled really made the kind of work and brand point of view start to cut through.
One campaign that I think was absolutely incredible was for IBM, and it was a few years ago, and it's a campaign called Smart Cities. And what they did was make every single out-of-home placement useful within the cities that it was in. So they turned posters into seats, they turned ads into ramps so that people could walk upstairs easily, and they also turned some bus stops into umbrellas. So actually, even though it wasn't shocking, it broke the rules, the typical kind of media format rules, and it really, really stood out.
In terms of favourite campaign that's broken the rules, crikey, there's probably a few, but one which I found really outstanding at the time was the Wonder Bra advert with those enormous pair of assets being displayed across 48 sheets, which was really so different to anyone ever doing anything like that before.
I know it's been quoted a lot, but I really like Fearless Girl. It was an overnight change in the way I saw advertising because it wasn't an advert, it was a piece of art that was selling something in a very powerful way.
Oh man, my favourite campaign that's broken the rules, I don't think I could pick one, but I'm going to pick a couple that are just banging into my head. Most recently, Extinction Rebellion. I love the way they all lay down in the Natural History Museum. Got a great point across, broke the rules. I love the Lego advertising where they made a 90-minute film, made you pay money to go and see the film. All they were doing is selling you Lego. That kind of broke rules of what advertising is for me. I could go on, but the good stuff, the stuff that makes you go, fuck me, how did they get away with that?